So welcome to this episode of PAC Leads. This is a series of discussions with leaders across the world, and the idea is to bridge in the aspect of their values to who they are from a leadership perspective. And today we are honored to have our friends and now partners from a Global Coaching Initiative, and we'll discuss that shortly to understand what that is. But welcome David, welcome Esther, and welcome Edward to this conversation that we call PAC Leads.
Honored to be here.
Yeah, great.
It's
Keith, yes.
It is Edwards.
Yes.
So you can call him that same.
Yes, yes.
Dr. Edwards is usually what he likes to be called.
Great.
Yes.
So I mean, this is PAC University where leaders are met. But first, we also want to really just connect with you and know who you are and what is in your heart from something that you feel that this is what, for me, I wake up at night every day for. So maybe we start with you, Dr. Edwards.
Sure. So thanks for having us here.
Yes.
This is our first time in Kenya, so we're excited to be here. I think what you mentioned about values and how that plays into leadership, one of the top values in my life, even growing up, is relationships. And some of that is peace or unity. All of that fits in this relationship thing. But so Esther and I have been in pastoral ministry for almost 38 years, and the value of relationship has filtered in everything that we've done, whether we were in a youth position or a music position or lead pastoring positions, which we just recently left the lead pastoring. And all of our churches and groups, they felt like family. So if you came to our church and you were there for a little bit and you were interviewed about our church, they would say it feels like family. And I don't know that we, until the very end, that I would promote that, but it's just what happened, because in family you have conversation. In family, you have conflict, and you have to resolve conflict. In family, all of those things are taking place. So that's kind of how that leads up into leadership. And I feel like the coaching piece really is about authentic relationships that you're able to share from your heart. And that's really what coaching gets down to, is what is happening on the inside, what is happening in the heart. And so for me, relationship is significant. Even in my doctoral studies on coaching, I thought that relationship was an important piece of that dissertation. And interestingly enough, that was the most challenged. But I thought, the people that I want to touch, the people that I want to impact, relationships are absolutely critical. So it's a non-negotiable for me. So.
And I want to agree with you, because also from where I sit, also a lot of studies that I do is around collaborative leadership, and one of the fundamental aspects is authentic relationship. There is no collaboration if there is no authentic relationship. And maybe we jump to you, Dr. Esther.
Yes.
And just connecting with that, yes. And then tell us how that relationship formed with Dr. Edwards.
Now that's a long story.
That's a long story. We actually met in Bible college. At that time it was a Bible college, now it's a university in the registration line.
We did.
And he pursued me for 4 years.
I didn't stalk her. I did not stalk her.
Sounds like you ran for 4 years. Sounds like.
We went our separate ways.
Yes.
He went into ministry. I went on for music education at a university to get certified. And then, I think we both grew up.
Yeah.
And so then suddenly I was very attracted to him. And we came back together, started dating, and the rest.
Yeah. So what draws you to this conversation around values? If there are values that you hold today that have founded, who Dr. Esther is, what are these things that are in your heart?
two very strong values for me are learning and development.
Yeah.
So I was a music educator for many years, and I love music. I make music, but it was in my leadership journey and in my learning as I was studying leadership, I really unpacked what was it about teaching music that I really valued. And it was actually the development of the person making the music. And so I made a whole career change because things shifted in our lives. The kids were all grown. So I went on for my education in leadership. And the learning just began to flow, you know. So those pieces for me everywhere we've been, everywhere we have ministered on different levels in large churches and small churches, it has been about development and learning, and really giving the platform for whether it's children or whether it's youth or whether it's adults to really be the best they could be. And that's where that also connects with coaching. Right. You are really trying to see their own strengths, internalize how God has really formed and shaped them through whatever experience. Every experience is a wisdom experience, if you allow it to be. So, yes, it has really been a journey of, I would say, especially at our age, and for younger leaders to know that every experience develops you for something greater. And it all converges as the older you get. And
great.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and we'll come back to that discussion shortly. But let's hear from David. I mean, David, you have a heart of coaching, and I don't know where that came from. Maybe if you can just briefly tell us what that heart of coaching that you have, where did it come from, and then how it connects now with, you know, developing transformative leaders out here, Christian leaders.
Yeah.
To the service of the world.
Yeah, you know, Esther used a word that is very central for me, and that's the word wisdom. And so I've been pastor in the same church as the first church I started with as a lead pastor for 28 years. And I remember when I came into that role, the story that really resonated deeply with me was where in the Old Testament, where the temple was rebuilt, Solomon built the temple, and they were coming to the dedication, and God said to Solomon, "You can ask for anything," and you know, sort of the genie in the bottle thing, right? You know, you can ask for anything, and it's going to be yours. And what do you want? And he asked for wisdom, and that has always really sort of resonated deeply with me. So that has been sort of, if there's a core value that drives me, it is to be wise. And that was, you know, the prayer requests. I had a friend before I came over who said, "Give me two things that when my feet hit the ground, I'm going to pray for every morning for you." And so it was wisdom and to walk with the Spirit, those two things. And I think that they're interconnected. So coaching is an embodiment of wisdom on both sides, is that you as a coach, that you are present, that you bring wisdom in that conversation that brings out the best of who that person is. But you're also seeking to tap into the wisdom that God has put into the person and believe that it is there, and to draw that out. And what I say about wisdom is that you can learn wisdom from other people's pain or your own pain. Yeah. And we do both, right? It's a lot easier to learn from other people's pain than our own, but there are some lessons we only learn through our own pain. But so wisdom.
Okay, nice. So maybe, Dr. Esther, you talked about something around the youth. And today we see there's an attack on the youth globally. And through your work in leadership development and coaching, what are some of the things that we can join hands, and many of us who are in that space, to be able to really develop the youth who can stand up today and say that for sure these are youth that have spiritual formation from a foundation perspective?
I think it is very important for them to process their own faith and who they are. In our generation, we were told what to do, and we did it. We followed. But the generations coming up have more of a sense of, don't tell me what to do. Talk with me, ask me, and let's process together.
I think one of the cultural things that have come into that is social media, where everybody has a voice.
Yes.
Where what you talked about is that you sort of didn't have a voice until you earned your voice, but now everybody has a voice, and so that the willingness to be heard, or for somebody to hear you, I think is what opens up. Sorry.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
And just, we are very concerned for the generations who many are deconstructing their faith. And that's, it's okay to deconstruct something as long as you construct it again with somebody in the picture. A lot of times people do this on their own or just in an echo chamber. That is not wise, but bringing the generations together is huge because process with them and give them the wisdom, but yet not telling them what they have to do.
I think there's also a big question, who am I? So you have identity issues, you have anxiety issues, you have so much from the past, and the deep question is, who am I? Who has God created me to be? And to explore that relationship with, with God and me and who I am. That's also a powerful way to coach, is to say, who are you now? Who will you be? Who do you want to be? What's the future look like for you? Who is your future self? And what would your future self say to you now? And then coaching kind of fills in the gap for that.
I think creating the environment for that to happen, I know with Cold Springs Church, probably 10 years ago, we made a strategic shift of really raising up the next generation. So my wife, so I've been pastor for 28 years. My wife has been pastor in the 2-year-olds room for 25 years. So the 2-year-olds love her. They have no idea who I am. But the thing is that for years it was her who led those 2-year-olds, and now she leads kids who are older than them. She leads junior hires who are leading them. And so it's giving, again, that voice as soon as possible, helping them to discover who we are by what we do, and the more we can create those opportunities for people to do, to experience,
and we'll come back to that just shortly as we wind up. Dr. Edwards, you have been involved in a lot of, as a lead pastor, and also developing other leaders throughout. Over the weekend, we had a conversation with a number of men. And one of the things that was coming out is they're not seeing, it's like there's a shortfall of value-based men today in the society. And based on the work that you have done, what do we need to do differently to raise, a battalion of men who can actually be seen to model what we could say that other men who are growing up, boys who are growing, can actually see and say, I want to be like Dr. Edwards.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I didn't grow up with the idea of there's a father model in my life, and so I had to look around and be discipled, really. And I think that's where discipleship comes in. If we begin discipleship early on and continue that, and when you get to men in community, having relationship, having discussion, having back and forth, having accountability in each other's lives, that all comes back to discipleship. And really knowing who you are in Christ and being more Christ-like. So what does a Christ-like man look like in this environment? What does a Christ-like man look like at your work? What does a Christ-like man look like when he loses his job or when he's confronted with family issues or child issues? All of those things. But it really comes down to doing it together. I think we're better when we're together. Our brain functions better when we're together. And so those are just a few things that you want to key in on. And I would say in discipleship, really, there's, read your Bible, pray every day, but it's it's more than that, but there's spiritual development.
Yes. And before David, caps us up with what we have just signed between us and PAC University and Global Coaching Initiative, maybe Dr. Esther, you can, the end of this week, I think on Saturday, we have Valentine's, and there's a lot of pressure from ladies, and I'm sure here in our community here, there's a lot of ladies who are expecting men to give them flowers, and those are some of the things that some of the relationship will come out, some will break as a result of that. What can you tell young ladies, especially growing up in such a community of universities and colleges, around the pressure that they give to boys and men right now, and how that will come into their relationships in future?
Well, every girl and woman like to be appreciated, so the flowers are great, the chocolates are great. I think one thing my husband has done for me through the years is he has believed in me. The core thing is to believe in your wife and do not make light of her strengths and values. I have grown in my own confidence because of how my husband has supported me in anything that the Lord has called me to. So, but for Valentine's Day, know your wife's love language. So do you know what my love language is?
Yeah.
It is works and acts of service.
It is.
So if you know the 5 love languages, there are different, and so if he were to vacuum the floor and clean the house, that would be a great Valentine's
It's better than flowers.
It's better than flowers.
Yeah.
But then some are
doing when you get
but some are gifts, some are words of affirmation. He's also words of affirmation. So I know that I need to really show him that I respect him and value him.
Yeah.
And then he accepts. So know how she accepts love and treat her like a queen,
Yeah.
but value her strengths.
Yeah.
Okay, so David, we've just had a group coaching conversation here. So cap us up in terms of these partnership that we are rolling out between PAC University and Global Coach Initiative. Why would a leader out there who wants to develop themselves come as in the initial cohorts of the Certified Christian Leadership Coach program?
Yeah. Well, first off, I just really want to express my appreciation to you. You're on our advisory board. Coletta Masharia is our executive director. Karen Okuna is our administrator. In the work that you have all done to be able to bring us to the meeting that we had today, I just am so grateful and appreciative to all of your leadership and your passion for seeing people grow. So today, was in gratitude and amazement as we were together to formalize a partnership to bring coach training as a part of what PAC U would offer in not just here, I think in Kenya, but you have a much bigger reach than that. And that through the Global Coach Initiative, which is a Christ-centered So we come from the perspective of faith, but it is a competency based on the International Coach Federation definition of what coaching is and the competencies required. And ICF, International Coach Federation, is the premier organization in the world that certifies and maintains those competencies. And so I know PAC U has a real passion around bringing education that is competency-based, that is highly, it's not somebody's opinion, but is research-based, it is foundational. So we are excited to be a part of that. Keith and Esther are extraordinary trainers, and we have others within our network of relationships that are skilled and experienced trainers ready to come and to partner with our brothers and sisters in the continent of Africa to raise up coaching as a competency, as a skill set and a mindset for coaches.
Okay, great. So, Dr. Edwards, as a word of parting shot, what can you say as a charge to leaders and Christian leaders, or developing leaders in various spaces as we wind up?
I would say that Christian leaders should continue to learn and grow and be the best that they can be. If we serve a God of excellence and creativity, we should reflect that, and we should continue, no matter whatever your age is, you need to develop yourself as in those gifts that God has given to you.
Yeah, great. Dr. Esther?
I would say, I thought about my journey from when I was called into leadership and ministry at 16 all the way through. I never knew I would be here. I never thought I would earn a doctorate. Keep following God's voice step by step by step, and be obedient, but also in love with Him, who ordains our path. He will truly lead your path perfectly, and use every experience for His glory. Even the regrets, the Lord reframes for His glory. And I've just been amazed also in seeing young leaders. I tell you, the younger generation coming up they have brought so much empathy to the table. And then women in leadership. It has changed the dynamic of how leadership is now. It was very top-down when it was more patriarchal. But as women become leaders, they are bringing a different style of leadership in, collaborative. And together, we link arms. One is not above the other. We link arms, and we are shaping the kingdom. Young, old, all together as leaders.
So, David, as a parting shot, we, as PAC University, we pride ourselves to be having students across the globe, and more so in Africa. We have students across over 50% of African countries. And this partnership that we are rolling out is actually, I will say Pan-African, because we are represented in all 50 plus countries in Africa. So as a parting shot, what are these three things that you will tell them, but not to miss out on this program as we roll out?
One of the things I would just really encourage is that the Global Coach Initiative, the Certificate in Christian Leadership Coaching, is not, you shouldn't look at it as, this is a pathway for me to be a professional coach, and that's what I need to be in order to be a part of this program. That's a pathway you can go down if that is what God has called you to. I would say the majority of people who've gone through the certificate in Christian leadership coaching, they are bringing a coaching mindset and skill set, and that's the way we talk about it. It is, you have to learn a coaching mindset and a coaching skill set to bring into the world of the realm that God has called you to. And just as we've talked about some of the shifts in culture and with coming generations, with women and men, and how things are shifting and changing, and we're a global world now. I mean, the internet has made that so. That coach approach to life, parenting, marriage, leadership, church leadership, business, is an essential skill set. So it's an investment, not that you can become something, out here. You will begin to change the way you live after the first class. I guarantee you, it will be that powerful, and it will begin a journey that you will consistently live out. So that was about 20 things in just one statement. I don't know if you wanted me to say other things there, but I'm a trained professional, so don't worry. I do this all the time. I overwhelm people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
David, if I can interrupt you.
Yeah.
Go right ahead. I might interrupt you too.
Pastors.
That's right. We have heard over and over again
Yes.
during the first class from spouses that my spouse is different. My spouse listens. We've heard that many times, almost in every one of our first classes we've heard that. So I lead differently, I preach differently because I have this approach of having questions about what's going on, the important questions of life. So
one high caliber leader, very high up, said, I just met with my staff yesterday and I realized that I could have used this approach and it would have gone much better. So the shifts come within that first class. It just takes a longer time to really develop the mindset.
Which shows you the excellence of which we have as leaders and trainers, of which Keith and Esther do.
Fantastic. So there you have it. This is the episode of PAC Leads and the conversation that we've just had, and of course what is coming out from our partnership with a Global Coach Initiative. So don't miss out to be on the first cohort of the Certified Christian Leadership Coach Program when you see when you see the advert coming out shortly. So thank you very much. I have been your host, Dr. Gilbert Ang'ana, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you again as we roll out this partnership and see where God takes us together as we move along. So thank you very much, David. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Edwards, for the wonderful conversation you've had.
Great.
Good. Thank you.